We are so back. Yes, America's military is back and better than ever. No more DEI or dudes in dresses. Thanks to President Trump, we are kicking goals and ready for combat. And War Secretary Pete Hegseth has got a message for people who want to stand in our way.
To our enemies, F-A-F-O. If necessary, our troops can translate that for you.
Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Oh my gosh. I got the goosebumps this morning because I was watching the Secretary of War, which, by the way, the new name in and of itself is like awesome. The Secretary of War gave his speech, and it was just so refreshing after 4 years of all of these woke policies under Joe Biden or whoever the hell was pulling his puppet strings. You had this DEI agendas, these recruitment campaigns where they were, the military was trying to recruit as many gay lesbians as possible. Just like, I don't know. I just want my military to be like really strong and really good at killing. And they were like, how many gays can we bring in? Bonus points if you're trans. Now, if you're a black trans woman, that is perfection in the Biden regime. And so after dealing with all of that and watching it happen, we now have the adults back in charge with President Trump and War Secretary Pete Hegseth. And I want to play President Trump earlier today at this meeting. You remember, Pete Hegseth called all the generals in. We got to have a meeting. You guys all need to come in. Doesn't matter what you're doing. You all need to be here. And everyone was like, what the hell's going on? Well, that was so that they could hear this message in person. And here's President Trump.
We're bringing back a focus on fitness, ability, character, and strength. And that's because the purposes of American military is not to protect anyone's feelings. It's to protect our republic. And it's the republic that we dearly love. It's to protect our country. We will not be politically correct when it comes to defending American freedom, and we will be a fighting and winning machine. We want to fight, we want to win, and we want to fight as little as possible.
So you have the Biden regime who was just totally decimating, weakening our military on all fronts at the same time that you had Russia and China and these other places who understood the assignment, right? Like their blueprint is like, we got to double down on strength. We got to double down on discipline. Now, I would say like China's tactics of putting all these restrictions on young men, perhaps not the same path for the United States since we do value freedom. However, they at least understood the assignment. They understood the goal. And you know, when you talk about the United States military, we always like to say that we're number one, the most dominant force in the world, but we actually lost that. Yeah, look at this. This is embarrassing. So China has the most active duty troops in the entire world, followed by India, and we are third on that list that you see right now. So China, 2 million, United States, 1.3 million. And North Korea is very close behind us. So it's something that we, it's like one of those laugh so you don't cry when we lived the Biden, administration, the 4 years of Joe Biden, where we saw just how bad it was. But it really is so important. Just because we're not in an active war right now, it is so important that we never do what Joe Biden did, that we never, ever do again. Because I want to remind you guys, this is how the Biden regime was trying to recruit people to be in the military.
It begins in California with a little girl raised by 2 moms.
Aww.
Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality.
Oh, good.
I like
That's
to think
what I
I've
want.
been defending freedom from an early age. When I was 6 years old, one of my moms had an accident that left her paralyzed. Doctors said she might never walk again. but she tapped into my family's pride to get back on her feet. Eventually standing at the altar to marry my other mom.
Gosh.
I needed my own adventures.
My other mom.
My own challenge.
Explain to me the science behind this.
And after meeting with an army recruiter, I found it.
Where does the sperm come in
and
with the
maybe
two
shatter
moms?
some stereotypes along the way.
Oh, good. Great. So you can imagine literally any man. Let's take the lesbian shit out of it, okay? Because that's just, it's too easy, right? It's like, oh boy, a bunch of lesbians. What could possibly go wrong in the military? Let's focus in on her stature that you just saw right there at the end. That woman was tiny. I guarantee you every man who's in the military is like, please God, don't pair me up with her because she is going to be of no help to me. Look at it. She is going to be of no help to any big dude. None whatsoever. That's nothing personal. It's just true. It turns out maybe recruiting a bunch of lesbians is not good for the military. And on top of that, it's not just the women. It's not just the women. It's also the drag queens. It's the gay men, the drag queens. And this guy was literally trying to digitally recruit. Oh boy, I probably said that wrong. He was the digital recruitment officer for the military, and he's doing videos in his uniform, changing into a drag queen. Boy, can you imagine? Oh, China must be shaking in their boots watching. Oh my God. Oh no, they're so scared of these. Maybe they're scared of the mentally ill, but they're so scared of these weak, effeminate men and these tiny little lesbians. I'm so sure they're going to think twice before they go off with their master plan of total world domination. And just to compare how China is recruiting for their military, let's play a Chinese military recruitment video. Dude, that looks so epic. I mean, that's Top Gun shit, right? Like that's stuff that's like dudes want to do that. They are pre-programmed to be like, yes, I want to do that. And instead, we had 4 years of like, will all the trans people please sign up? Which is why our army couldn't even hit its recruiting goal under Joe Biden, 25% short in 2022, and again in 2023. And now we are already ahead of schedule, hitting our recruitment goals. But there is still one problem. There are standards. And Pete Hegseth is returning these standards back to normalcy. And this, you would think, should not be controversial, but somehow it is. Here is some of what Pete Hegseth had to say today.
This administration has done a great deal from day one to remove the social justice, politically correct, and toxic ideological garbage that had infected our department, to rip out the politics. No more identity months, DEI offices, dudes in dresses. No more climate change worship. No more division, distraction, or gender delusions. No more debris. As I've said before, and will say again, we are done with that shit.
He also went on to talk about no more fat generals. You should not be overweight. And we're returning the standards to men's standards only. And by the way, we're not saying that if you're a female, that you can't be in the military, but you have to hit the same standards as the men. We're not going to have this, oh, but the women can get a handicap and but they're women, so they need a handicap because they're not as strong as men. Well, guess what then? I don't want them in my military. They're not supposed to be in the military. My opinion. That's my opinion. Women are not supposed to be in the military. Let's go ahead and let's play Pete Hegseth on that.
This, and I want to be very clear about this, this is not about preventing women from serving. We very much value the impact of female troops. But when it comes to any job that requires physical power to perform in combat, those physical standards must be high and gender neutral. If women can make it, excellent. If not, it is what it is. If that means no women qualify for some combat jobs, so be it. That is not the intent, but it could be the result, so be it. It will also mean that weak men won't qualify because we're not playing games. This is combat. This is life or death.
Again, it's like this. If anyone feels like this is controversial, it really just, these people should be laughed off the face of the planet. This should not be controversial. It is not personal. It is just business. The military has one job: to be really strong and really good at protecting our country. That's it. There's no time for personal debate or upset feelings about it, or like, but I'm a fat black woman and I want to be in the military too. Well, I mean, like, honey, I guess maybe you're just not cut out for that. It's despicable what the Biden regime turned our military into. And so to finally have this strong, fit man going up there, the Secretary of War, which again is totally badass in and of itself, the Secretary of War going up there and being like, guys, we're returning this to normalcy. I want you guys to be killing machines. That is the thing you're supposed to be good at. We're not going to shy around about that anymore. We're not going to pretend like this means anything else. We're not recruiting the lesbians. We're not going to do that. Now, hey, if you're a lesbian and you want to join, be my guest, but you're first going to have to pass the same standards that these men have to pass. And by the way, you're not going to be allowed to be fat. That's embarrassing. No more fat generals walking the hallways. If you are looking at things objectively, you cannot disagree with anything that he just said. So it's about damn time that our military is back, and it is back in an epic way. And finally, China, you know what? I think they're going to think twice before they have any sort of master plan. I think they're going to think twice because this military is not playing around anymore. It turns out we're kicking the drag queens out. The drag queens, they no longer work here. You'll have to find them at the bar down the street. They no longer are here. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We will be back with more. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor is there for those of you who live in constant pain. You think that it's your life. It doesn't have to be, actually. Try it. It's an all-natural anti-inflammatory. And 70% of the people who order their 3-week QuickStart go on to keep ordering more. That's how many people it's working for. So the odds are in your favor that if you're in pain, this could be life-changing for you. It's less than $1 a day to try it and see if it works. You can get it by going to relieffactor.com. That is relieffactor.com. So simply put, it's not just the military that the Democrats have just completely and utterly obliterated with all of their terrible policies. It's all the way down, top to bottom. Democrat policies kill. And they're putting the lives of people at risk in a lot of these cities. And in some cases, you can have Republican leadership in all these different offices, but if you don't have strong DAs, if you don't have strong district attorneys, which George Soros has known for a very long time he could infiltrate, if you don't have strong DAs in some of these cities, it doesn't matter because they're going to be soft on criminals. And a lot of people, I think, were, it was a shock to their system to see this play out in Charlotte, North Carolina. But in reality, this is happening all across the country. The Ukrainian refugee was just one of many innocent women whose blood is on the hands of officials who are just simply too soft on criminals with long rap sheets and criminals with violent histories. So I'd like to tell you about another woman who I don't think got the same coverage, but should have. Logan Federico, she was brutally murdered, shot to death back in May in South Carolina. And she was staying with a friend in Colombia. This was a repeat offender who allegedly broke into the house that she was in, dragged her out of bed, and murdered her in cold blood. And I want to play a clip of her father, Steve, testifying in front of some Congress members about this yesterday.
Think about your child coming home from a night out with their friends, laying down, going to sleep, feeling somebody come in the room and wake them and drag her out of bed, naked, forced on her knees, with her hands over her head, begging for her life, begging for her hero, her father, me, that couldn't be there. She was 5'3". She weighed 115 pounds. Bang! Dead. Gone. Why? Because Alexander Devontae Dickey, who was arrested 39 goddamn times, 25 felonies, was on the street. How about that? How good are we doing for our family? How good are you doing for your kids? He should have been in jail for over 140 years for all the crimes he committed. You know how much time he spent in prison? A little over 600 days in 10 years. Her name's Logan Federico, not Irina. And you will not forget her. I promise you. You will be sick and tired of my face and my voice until this gets fixed. I will fight until my last breath for my daughter.
That very brave father joins me now, Steve Federico, Logan's dad. Thank you so much for joining me, Steve. I'm so sorry for your loss, and I can sense your frustration in this hearing, that the frustration of hearing all of these people talk about this Ukrainian refugee and what happened to her was terrible, but the same attention should be given to all of these young women and all of these people in this country who have been vulnerable now, and their safety is being threatened, and some are no longer with us now because of these soft on crime policies.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head. I mean, there's obviously my daughter's important, but there's no one more important than the other. I mean, a lost life, lost young life is a lost life. And the tragic story about Logan is that it was so preventable. I mean, we're talking about a guy, Alexander Dickey, who was arrested 39 times, okay, in 10 years. 25 felonies. And I keep saying this. I mean, he was committing more crimes on an average a year than most people do, in a lifetime. But for him to only spend a little over 600 days in prison in 10 years, he's only 30 years old. He started his crime spree when he was 15.
Jeez. Yeah, that's
right.
Well, and I mean, you're talking robbery, drug possession, larceny. I mean, this is a career criminal that you're talking about. And so why, obviously you've looked into this. Why was he released so many times? They just are like, oh, well, he's done his time. We're just going to give him a slap on the wrist and send him back out in the street.
Well, we've been given, a couple different reasons. Was obviously one of them was he served his time, and obviously that was by somebody that I don't think this was right at the beginning of it. Okay, other was there was a fingerprint mishap in 2013 and 2015 or something like that. But what I will tell you is this: he's committed so many crimes that the only thing that had to be done was a little bit of legwork by a solicitor's office, by SLED, by a judge, by anyone, and they would have recognized that he was a bad dude. There was no reason why he needed to be in a lawful society. Zero chance that he was never going to commit a crime again. He showed his pattern. He was a burglar. He hurt people. He did it with weapons. He did it any way he could. Okay, he did it at night. Okay, so there was no chance of him ever being a lawful person. He never had a chance because he didn't want to be. It's a personal choice to do what he did to Logan. It's a personal choice how he murdered her.
Yeah. Yeah. And he stole, tell me if I have this right. He stole her, because you mentioned he's a career criminal. He burglarizes, he steals. Obviously that's like his MO, but he stole her credit card after he did this. This monster, this animal stole her credit card and then went on a shopping spree. And that was how they ended up catching him.
Right. So, I'm going to show you what a POS this guy is. Okay. He starts using her credit card maybe an hour and a half after he executes her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And by chance, we started getting emails about her account being overdrawn. Obviously, she's 22 and she's a fashion queen. She loves to spend money. But we were getting emails about her account, and we notified the great detectives in Colombia about this. And, from what I understand is they went into a couple of stores and they saw his face on video, and he's been arrested so much they knew exactly who he was. They didn't have to figure out who he was. They looked at it and said, "Oh, that's Alexander Dickey. We know where to start looking for him."
Wow.
Pretty pathetic, right?
It's extremely pathetic. So what would you say to people, like, having been through this experience, what do you think? What is the solution here? Because like I said, I think that, you can elect a Republican mayor and you can have Republican state, like you can do all of those things. And yet if you don't have strong DAs, none of that matters. So what would be your message to America for how do we course correct this so that more innocents don't have to die?
Well, I think you kind of have to reboot. I think you have to reboot the DA, the solicitor process altogether, and who's cutting deals, who's qualified to cut the deals. That includes judges. I think we need to reboot it and start from scratch. You look at some judges that they're not attorneys, they're nominated, they're not elected. Some of them aren't even attorneys that know the law. One. And I'm sure there's some really good magistrate judges out there. I'm sure there really are. Okay. But I think we have to start from the beginning. The boots on the ground aren't the problem. Right. I found that out by the great relationships I've built with the Columbia and Lexington Police Department. They worked 36 hours straight to solve Logan's murder, and they did it in 36 hours. Mm-hmm. And that's only because they knew where he was, but they had to find him. Okay. He was on the run. But they're doing their job. And what they're tired of is doing their job and 24 hours later seeing people right back on the street.
Exactly.
Because we have somebody gutless and spineless to put somebody in jail where they should be. Look, we don't know if prisons work because we don't put enough people in prisons. Okay? Prisons are there to help rehabilitate people. But how do we know it works if we don't use them?
Right.
And if we don't have enough of them, we need to build some.
Right.
Period.
Right. Yes, I am 100% with you. Steve, I want you to, this is my last question for you. I want to hear more about what Logan was like.
Oh, you would have loved her. She was a spitfire, man. She look at that smile.
I know.
My
she's
God,
beautiful.
She lit up a room. I mean, I'd say the purest thing about Logan was she fought for the underdog. Okay, the young girl or kid that didn't fit in school, that wasn't in that group, she would pull into that group. She never wanted to leave anybody out. She was loyal to a degree that was unbelievable. She was a friend that would give you the last dime in her pocket. She was that kind of person. She just was she is the type of person that this country needed to be in. Yeah. We need more of her.
Yeah. She's absolutely beautiful. And I am just so sorry. It's angers me so much, Steve, because like you said, it doesn't have to be this way. It doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to have innocent people dying in this country because we're just letting career criminals out on the streets. And my opinion, Steve, maybe not yours, and that's fine. My opinion is that it was all done by design. This is all part of the Democrats' master plan to create chaos and disarray in these cities so they can come in and seize more control. Because I don't understand why a civilized society would think that you should just be letting people out who clearly are not right and are not have a pattern of this history. So
can I respond to that?
Yeah, please go ahead.
You're on to something there, because I'm going to tell you why. This is so preventable. It's easy.
Yeah.
It is easy just to follow the diagram that these judges and solicitors and DAs are given. They know what the sentences should be, but they don't apply them. It's so easily preventable. It's not rocket science.
Right.
You break the law, you go to prison. Now, look, there are small laws. I understand that. It's like a white lie and a real lie. I get it. Okay. But hardened criminals like Alexander Dickey and this piece of shit up in Charlotte, okay, they didn't belong on the street. And people purposely knew that.
Yep.
It wasn't an accident. It wasn't an accident Alexander Dickey ran into my daughter. He was on the street for a purpose. Period.
Yeah.
This wasn't an accident. And there's a lot of people that have my daughter's blood on their hands.
Well, Steve, I am so sorry again for what happened. I'm with you. Please let us know if there's anything that you need. Please let us know.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I appreciate you getting Logan's voice out there.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank you.
We'll be praying for you guys.
Thank you.
Whew. Just makes me so mad. It doesn't have to be this way. From we talk about this with illegal immigration all the time. It's like we could literally just close the border and stop bringing in freaking criminals. We could literally just put the violent criminals that we have on the streets, just lock them up. It's actually really that simple. And yet Democrats don't want to do it. They will fight. They are fighting President Trump tooth and nail over cleaning up the streets of DC. Why? They are crying, going to El Salvador to go follow gang members who were deporting. Like, it is such sick, bizarre behavior. They should just be ashamed of themselves. All right, we've got more to come. I'm going to bring on the panel. But I want to thank our sponsor this segment, SelectQuote. So life insurance, speaking of, life is fragile. And it's something when you talk about life insurance, it's something that people don't really even want to talk about. You don't want to think that you're ever going to be taken from your family, but it is something that you got to prepare for. And the last thing you want is to not think about it and something happens and then your family is left not only devastated that you're gone, but also trying to figure out how they are going to pay the bills. So if you have coverage through your job, what you may not realize is if you're laid off or you switch jobs or whatever, you could just suddenly have nothing. So I'm telling you guys, you need to go shopping for life insurance. Even if you have it through your job, it needs to be yours, not your job's. Okay. Go talk to my friends over at SelectQuote. They have done over like $700 billion in protection, and their licensed agents are going to tailor a plan right for you. Even if you have high blood pressure or diabetes or any other, pre-existing condition and you're like, I'll never get it. No, they actually work with some carriers who will give you protection. So get the right life insurance for you for less. Save more than 50% off at selectquote.com/Sarah. That is selectquote.com/Sarah. Welcome to the show. We have Jaco Booyens, Blaze TV contributor and founder of Jaco Booyens Ministry, along with Eric July, Blaze TV contributor and founder of Ripaverse Comics. I'm glad that both of you guys are here. The band is back together.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad that you guys could join me today. This one's been like all over the place, racking up the frequent flyer points.
That is not a lie. That's not a lie. But it's good to have OG back. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, I'm glad that you guys are here with me to talk about this this next topic, because I am watching the left and their reaction to, again, very like basic things, right? The military should be trained killing machines and nothing else. We don't need DEI initiatives. We don't need any sort of woke quotas. We just need them to be really strong and really fast and really good at the one thing that we need from them. And also on top of that, we should not be letting violent criminals out onto the street. Like, these are all very normal policies, It feels like. It should not be controversial. And they don't know how to respond to this, that they're just so out of touch with what the country wants, with I think where the world is, because you see this uprising in the UK with all of these, the importation of all of these Muslims and how that's going for them. And so you have people like Joy Reid who go out there, and this is her complaint. This is like they want us to be fascists, Nazis, white supremacists, all the things. Even Eric is probably the greatest white supremacist.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the face of it.
Yeah,
well, Eric
this is
lost
the face of
all
white
his
supremacy.
blackness because he didn't vote for Biden.
He didn't vote for Joe Biden, right?
So it just fell off him.
Right. And so you have them, this is what they're trying to use against us to try to say that we are so terrible. This is what Joy Reid had to say.
Is that if you go back before the 20th century, there were no income taxes, there were no regulations on business. You could earn as much money as you want, leave 100% of it to your children with no taxes.
Right.
That's the world they want back. And to get it back,
Yes.
They need society to change. They need people to be less modern. They need people to want fewer things.
No, that sounds awesome. It's like, yes, that literally is what I would like back. I would like so that when I earn all of the money that I earn, I can just pass it down to my children and you guys, the government doesn't steal it from me. Yes, that's correct. That's what I want. Like, that's the big bad wolf that she's making us out to be. And that's the only complaint that she can find is they want lower taxes and more freedom. Like
Gaslighting. Look,
Yeah.
I mean, fill in the blank. Whose policies brought higher taxes? I mean, yeah. Look, I'll say this. They don't live in reality. Reality is not in their universe.
No.
So therefore, you could have trannies and fat people and have dumb and blind people holding rocket launchers, and because we're never really going to go to war. And then it actually happens where migrants flood across the border, and Abbott actually flies them to Martha's Vineyard, and they actually show up. And then reality happens. We're like, oh, crap. Now what do we do, right? Now you want to cry uncle because they don't live in a reality. So nothing really makes sense. It's all just monopoly. It's all just fake. You just make it up. And, what could happen if all men are women and all women are men and your birth rate plummets to 0.5%?
That's fair.
Oh, crap. We lost the whole culture. Yeah. Because dude didn't send sperm and she didn't send eggs and we didn't create a nation. But so they're so removed from reality because it's demonic.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
These people dance with demons. They are in this alter universe where reality is not with them, right? And so everything floats. Yeah. Everything goes.
I'm genuinely like, please keep going out and making these statements.
Yeah.
Like, please.
So you're crazy.
Right. Please keep trying to convince people that we're the bad guys because we want people to keep more of the money that they earn.
Helps us.
Right. Like, please keep saying that. Eric, I want to get your thoughts on this, but I also let's throw in another one here, which is Eric Swalwell. This is another thing that I want them to continue saying. They are saying all the quiet parts out loud. And I am so here for this. Show America who you really are. Because for the last however the hell many years, they have tried to say that Donald Trump's the bad guy. Donald Trump's weaponizing the government. Donald Trump's corrupt. Donald Trump's all these things. And then you have Eric Swalwell literally threatening to go after people who work with President Trump if they get the power in the midterms again. Watch.
We're making it clear that we're going into the majority a year from now. We have every intention to do that. And so we will bring oversight, accountability. We will subpoena the Department of Justice, but also private actors who have done these drug deals with the administration, college campuses, entertainment companies, law firms. And so accountability is coming. And so, one, it's all coming out. Two, I hope that deters people from doing more of these deals, these one-offs with the president.
It's like, yeah, we're going to go after private companies who actually work with the president. Yeah, we're going to do that if we get power again. And by the way, we don't want you to keep more of the money that you earn. Like, okay, keep this strategy up, please.
One thing about, I think, the Joy Reid statement that I think is it's important to make note of is what she is describing really is my political philosophy there when she talks about no taxes and no regulations and such. You're threatening me with a fantastic time. But most importantly, this is what the point that I've been trying to drive home for quite a while now, in that anybody that is pro-private property, pro-capitalism, they lump you all in the same box. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what you call yourself. I'm an anarcho-capitalist or a libertarian or a minarchist or a conservatarian. It really doesn't matter. If you value private property rights, above all this, obviously that starts with yourself and self-ownership, right? They find that to be a threat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She is more of a moderate side of things, and yet she is anti-private property.
Yeah.
That's why she can spew something like that, and we all look at it, that's crazy. Yeah, that's more what we want. We want people to be able to work and earn freely, businesses to be able to interact and enter deals privately without the government dictating exactly what they have to do, as long as there's no aggression being involved, like coercion or extortion. Fair play.
Mm-hmm.
She finds, or rather takes exception to that.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
It's so
It is insane. It is absolutely insane.
We want less regulation.
Exactly. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what we want. So you at least are finally identifying what we want.
Right.
But most importantly is that to be in America and to be able to speak so confidently about that, as if that's something that is wrong, even though you would look at that as part of like the fabric of what it means, really to be an American, is to be able, it's free enterprise. Mm-hmm. That's what it's about, free enterprise. And she's against that. I want everybody to take note of that, no matter where you're at on the political spectrum, that the moderate is saying that. The moderate is the one that is anti-private property rights. And this is why the point that I made when I first saw that statement, I was like, this is insane. This is why I want people on the economic right to really get out of each other's way, because I want people to understand that that's what we're dealing with. We could sit up here and argue the ins and outs of the 10% of things that we disagree on.
Right.
Or we could focus on the fact that there is this side that wants us to be eliminated. They are anti-American. They are anti-private property. And if we don't deal with that as such, we're going to be paying for it for decades at a time. So can we just put everything to the side? I'm not saying don't criticize anybody. I'm not saying don't have your opinion. But the fact that we have folks out there that are spending the majority of their time attacking other folks on the economic right, when we have their moderates, they're moderates saying things like that, guys, man, we got to get
These aren't even
focused.
the radicals.
Exactly.
She's a moderate.
Right.
Really what she's saying is anybody that's for true freedom, which starts with autonomy, not my body, my choice nonsense, because the child has
ownership.
the child.
Right. Talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody that's for freedom, they want entrapment.
Yes.
They want slavery, which is why they say, how dare you deport our cheap labor?
Right.
They say the quiet, it lines right up with no taxes so you can pass it down to your children?
Right.
Oh, that shouldn't be allowed, right? Yeah, you want slaves. Yeah. You want big government to have slaves. And that's such a good point that you're making. It's a moderate.
Yeah.
You're not even talking about the radicals. You're not talking about the Adam Schiffs or the or the AOCs, Omars, this is like someone who's considered by them to be thinner, right?
Right. And so now we have this showdown over the government shutting down, which I know everyone at this table is like, don't threaten me with a good time. That sounds great.
Shut it down.
But they're arguing over the topic of, this Obamacare subsidy and whether or not non-citizens and potentially illegals could get health care, which is, the government's like simping more for illegals, which is totally on brand for them. But let me play. Donald Trump posted this AI video on his Truth Social with Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. So it's not real. It's obviously fake when you read it. But I want to play Hakeem Jeffries' reaction to it. Let's first watch this video that he posted.
Way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us. So we need new voters. And if we give all these illegal aliens free health care, we might be able to get them on our side so they can vote for us. They can't even speak English, so they won't realize we're just a bunch of woke pieces of shit, you know, at least for a while until they learn English and they realize they hate us too.
Mr. President,
This is
the
his
next
response.
time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video.
What's with the pauses between every word?
When I'm
He's
back in the
Barack
Oval
Obama.
Office, say it to my face.
I
Say it
love
to my
this
face.
because
careful
he
what you wish
100% will
Oh,
say
yeah,
it to
Trump-
your face.
Trump absolutely
He
will.
will. He does not care at all. He will say it to your face, Hakeem.
man.
But also, it's like he didn't say anything about you. He just posted a funny video and you're wearing a sombrero,
know what
and the
that-
Democrats tried to say that was racist, and it's
yeah.
like, but is he not black?
Yeah, he's black. I don't know what that would be racist against. I don't know the rules anymore.
They don't know, but that's my point.
They don't know the
They
rules.
don't even know.
They don't know their own gender.
Right? They have
Go into
no
the
idea.
bathroom and they don't know, do I sit or stand?
They have
And
no
they like
idea.
in between and they pee on themselves. I mean, they don't know, you know? I mean, come on, bro. I mean,
So this is the party that we're dealing with. I don't know, man. I realize how midterms usually go, but I have a hard time believing that the same America that voted for Donald Trump is going to somehow think that these people have turned reasonable. They just keep stepping all over themselves every single chance that they get.
look, I don't want to. I'm gonna pull a haymaker, a Sara Gonzales haymaker here because we've done this many times over the years in the show. Just do not, for the love of
Yes,
life
no,
and
you're right.
freedom, get complacent.
You're right. No, you're right.
Please
You're right.
let them self implicate and announce. But come midterms, run the table
Yes.
like never before. Do not for a second think that because they say stupid stuff,
Right.
there aren't enough stupid people
Yeah, you're right.
to follow them. Because what you need to learn about America is there's a lot of crazy people in this country.
That's true. So if we turn out, there's no way that America is buying what they're selling, but we do need
Gotta
to
show
turn
up.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right about that. I just can't get over that video.
What was funny was the hat didn't move, so as he turns his head,
It's so good. I just love it because he knows exactly how to get under their skin, and
Yeah.
they fall for
that's
it
the
every
beautiful
time.
thing. They took the bait.
Every time they take the bait, and then Hakeem has to, don't do that, Mr. President. Like that, you don't
But even his
sound
hand, it was a
good.
bit of a Barack Obama.
He's such a Barack Obama wannabe. You will never be Barack Obama, buddy. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be right back. Let's talk about Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny is a Latin musician, and he was just announced as the headliner for next year's Super Bowl halftime show. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this because he doesn't sing in English, like at all. And he also is very vocally against President Trump. In fact, said that he did not include the United States in his world tour because he was scared of ICE raids. Honestly, he probably has something there because ICE probably would show up at one of his concerts, and that would be really, really funny. But
Good, it's a nice thought.
yeah, I'm like, wow, that would have been really epic if they had been able to do that. So maybe he was onto something. But I see this announcement and I'm like, okay, I get it if it's like a Latin musician that sings in English, but we are in America. And I'm just wondering why in the world we are now talking about a Spanish-only singer performing for the Super Bowl halftime show. That is a message.
Here's what Roger Goodell would tell you. He wants to grow the Hispanic fan base. Here's what Jaco Booyens is going to tell you. Do you know who controls the halftime show at the Super Bowl?
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z. Go dig into that one for a minute. Anti-Trump, anti-America, massive agenda. Let's just go on and on and on and on. Goodell would tell you it's to grow the Hispanic fan base. They don't play football. They play soccer, and the World Cup's coming here next year. So, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and then when you start looking at like the demonic imagery with not just Bad Bunny but Jay-Z, it's pretty scary.
That's dark. It's anti-American.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that this is more of the same stuff. I don't know what they're.
Yeah, but
what's the point? Like for them, I don't really understand it because to your point, it is American football. It is that's our number one sport here, right? So you think that was the whole point of the halftime show. It's going to be this entertainment deal, and it's going to be a significant portion of the population
to the fans that support it and buy jerseys.
Yeah, for sure, right? And we're all looking at this, and we're like, well, I'm not going to understand anything that this guy is.
Why would you watch?
Saying, I don't even. Economically, I don't really understand that approach at all. Maybe it is just more so kind of to send a message and like it's more of a pander kind of situation where, like you said, maybe they want to grow this audience. I'm not exactly sure what the like politics aside, what's the logic in this? Because typically that had been reserved for popular like Western
right.
folks. So yeah, I'm not sure.
You want to do it right? You put Forrest Frank up there for a halftime show, or you go put. They would never do that. Or you would think Boone or somebody that's an American artist made from America, but no. But there's always an agenda with the NFL. There's always something. Goodell comes up with the craziest stuff.
Yeah, and it's just it's like really frustrating too because you see this, and I think everyone that I know is like, that's crazy. I'm not going to watch that. But the NFL seems to be completely untouched by any of this, for all, I'm going to boycott this, I'm going to boycott that. It's like the Black Lives Matter stuff and all the woke.
Yeah, they doubled down before the season started. And they said they're still going to be doing the messaging or whatever.
Right.
Social justice messaging.
So it's like, what is it going to take for America to finally be like, it's just not worth it? I mean, I would be shocked if they didn't have very low numbers for the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm sure people will still watch the Super Bowl because it's kind of like a tradition in this country that we all get together and we all have parties and we all watch the Super Bowl. But I would imagine that people are going to be tuning out of the halftime show. And I don't think that all of these, Spanish speakers who love Bad Bunny are going to just go tune in just for the halftime show. They'll just watch it later on the internet.
But even if if they only tune in for the halftime show, that actually hurts ratings because of how ratings peak and drops.
Really?
If you only watch for 10 minutes and you don't watch the whole game, it doesn't make any economical sense, nor does the NFL. The issue with the NFL is this. The beauty of it is also its drawback. It's individually owned by individual owners in cities that own their own teams. And so you've got the league as this amoeba that nobody likes. Nobody likes Goodell.
Right.
Even the owners don't like Goodell, but you're going to support your team, whether that's the Eagles or the Cowboys. Right. You're loyal to your team and your city, and it survives on its own. So the individual teams carry the league. The league is not carrying the teams.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. I heard our colleague Jason Whitlock say that we needed an alternative, like a good concert for people to watch at the same time as the Super Bowl halftime show. I'm in full agreement on that. I think we need to coordinate something because I ain't watching and nobody else I know is either. We'll see you tomorrow.